I am from San Francisco. Growing up in San Francisco was interesting. Like, I used to sell Girl Scout cookies on the street corner in the Castro, that sort of thing. So when I moved to New York, I kind of freaked out. New York is a much faster, meaner city. I called my mom. I was like, Mom, I don't know how I'm going to make it in this big city. She was like, Jess, calm down. You have survival skills. You were a Girl Scout. And I was like, I don't know, Mom. The only thing I learned in the Girl Scouts is what a glory hole is. So when I moved to New York, I was working at a sex shop, naturally. This is true. I was working at an upscale, luxury, like dildos and chandeliers. Yeah, sex shop on the Upper East Side, Manhattan. Yeah, which was awkward. Because the people of the Upper East Side, they didn't think they needed the things we sold because they already had sticks up their asses. Naturally, we didn't take returns. The customers had a hard time dealing with that, too. Like, one time, I had a guy come back to the store with a toy that I had sold him. He plops it down on the counter. He's like, I need to return this. It doesn't work. I was like, well, do you want me to troubleshoot it? I'm like an Apple genius of sex toys. He goes, no, it doesn't work for me. And that's different. And I had to be like, sir, I'm sorry, you can't return something just because it didn't make you come. If you could, most of the women who buy vibrators would just return their boyfriends. Some boyfriends in the audience like, I didn't get that one. I don't understand that joke. I'll say this, I've never had sex with a straight man, but I know I never want to. I know this because I've had sex with their ex-girlfriends. And it's awkward. It's awkward, Like, one time, I slept with a woman who had only ever been with men before me, and afterwards she was like, oh my God, what did you just do? And I was like, respect you? That's not funny, it's sad. And now, I no longer work at a luxury boutique sex shop, which means I'm just an average civilian with a wealth of extremely specialized knowledge that is not useful outside of that context. For example, recently, I was in San Francisco visiting my family, and my father and sister found themselves trapped in the car with me while I explained to them in great detail the dangers of garlic clove anal suppository. So the reason for that is, science lesson, real quick. The reason for that is you actually have two sphincters in your butt. There is the one that you know about, which you can control. Some of you just tried it right now. And then 3 to 5 inches up, there's actually another one, which you have no control over, which is for holding everything in, which is great because it keeps you from pooping your pants all the time. But it does mean if you put something small without a flared base, such as a garlic clove, into your butt, there's a good chance your body is going to it right up. And then that's just a bad episode of Grey's Anatomy. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is... You can take the kid out of the sex shop, but you can't take the garlic clove out of your butt. That's so stupid. So dumb. So I'd been in San Francisco for 2 weeks, all the way on the other side of the country, came back to my apartment in New York, pulled back the sheets on my bed, and found a dildo that didn't belong to me. This is a true story. I was like, I didn't buy the captain. How did you get here? It turns out it belonged to my best friend, who had been visiting me before I left and forgot their dildo in my things, as you do with family. But before I found out who it belonged to, I was like, oh, this is like a modern-day Cinderella story. I have to try this dildo on every eligible lady in the kingdom to find the perfect fit. So I had been hired to open this location of the sex shop on the Upper East Side, and in the very beginning we had slow foot traffic. There were very, very few customers coming through. And one day, one of our only customers was a middle-aged Hasidic Jewish man. Yes, who came into the store, he was shopping around, he didn't want any help. And after a while it became apparent that he had been sent by his dominatrix on a mission to pick up a male chastity device. Yes, a cock cage, a penis penitentiary, a jism prison. He was supposed to buy the male chastity device, but not get the key. He was supposed to leave the key with us. She was going to come by and pick it up later. That was the arrangement, or something. And we were like, okay, that's not safe. You can't just lock up your junk and waltz out of here. You either have to buy the whole thing or you can't have it at all. He goes, no, that doesn't work. He leaves. For the next 3 hours, we see him wandering around the store, sometimes coming back inside and shopping like he was a different guy. Very, very troubled, like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And then finally, 3 hours later, he comes back. He's like, fine, I will buy the whole thing. We're like, great, we sell it to him. He goes, now, you have to let me into your restroom so I can put it on. And normally we didn't let people into the restroom. But I was like, all right, you've had a hard day. I will walk you downstairs to the restroom. So I take him down. He's in there a long time, like 15 minutes jangling around in there. And then finally he comes out, he's kind of readjusting his belt, sort of muttering to himself, not really talking to anybody, not really talking to me. And as we go back up the stairs to the sales floor, he goes, I flushed the key. And I let him leave. Because we didn't take returns. What was I supposed to do? So I'm non-binary, transmasculine. I know, I contain so many multitudes, it's exhausting. Okay, you're all good people. I hope you sleep well tonight. A few years ago, I started testosterone, which is why I have the mustache of the coolest boy in 8th grade. Fun fact about testosterone, it tends to change people's sexual orientation. So, after an entire lifetime of being a practicing lesbian, for the first time ever, I find myself attracted to men. Dead silence. I can feel you guys just get worried for me. You're like, ooh, they're about to find out. I know. I was a lesbian, now I'm starting to date men. It's really like I was born with a get out of jail free card, and I'm like, but I've never tried jail. Let's see what that's like. So I'm trying to date gay men, and it's interesting. Recently, I hooked up with a cis gay man who had never had sex with a trans guy before, and we're going at it, and he goes, oh my God, what are you doing? And I was like, respecting you, come on! Guys, I'm Jess Tom, thank you so much.